guys, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Clams. Last night I was gifted one of the best gifts ever that someone can do when they catch a huge fish and they give you a part of it. So my friend CJ, who owns Neretic, which is a spearfishing company here in Florida, went to California as a guide and he shot a bluefin tuna. So those are massive, massive, massive fish. And there's too much. I mean, you freeze it, you couldn't eat all of it in the next year. So you give a lot of it away. And what CJ gifted me was the toro, which is the belly meat. And this, as far as sushi goes, unbelievable. But what I'm gonna do with it is a little bit different. So last night we put it in a brine. That skin is tough. That is beautiful. So I think that fat is going to act just like bacon fat. Actually. The brine was your typical brine. It was brown sugar, salt, but I added a little bit of maple syrup to the brine and then let it brine overnight for 12 hours. Now normally I would take it out and let it rest, but this one I'm gonna let ride because it has so much fat content. I mean, that is incredible. And the reason why, what I'm gonna do with this today, is that we're gonna smoke it, then slice it thin and make tuna belly bacon. And once I have my bacon, we're gonna make tuna belly bacon BLTs. So I have my smoker going. I actually have a real smoker this time, not one I built on a beach. And that is about 200, 250 degrees. That's gonna stay in there for about 3 hours. And then we're gonna come back, check on it, and see if we can fry it up and make our bacon. So I let our tuna go a little more than the 2 hours I said I was gonna let it go because I wanted it to firm up so that when we slice it, it'll hold together for when we make our bacon. Now the other thing I did was once the smoke stopped, I turned the heat off and let it cool down inside the smoker. Because again, if that fat was hot, when I went to pick it up, it's gonna fall apart because that belly meat has so much fat in it. So we let it cool. This is what we have. So now the next thing that I'm gonna do is get this upstairs into the fridge and let it cool for at least an hour or two so that it really firms up, so when I slice it, I have nice thick pieces that I can turn into our bacon in the skillet. I let my smoked tuna belly sit in the fridge. We let it go about 2 hours just so it's completely tight. And as you can see, there's no give to that at all. And my hope is that when I slice it, this is the moment of truth, that it stays together. So look at that bar of fat right there is what I'm counting on to make this taste like bacon. So I got my pan heating up with just a little bit of olive oil in it because unlike bacon, this doesn't have enough fat on it to carry it through the pan. So just a little bit of olive oil. And before I put anything in the pan, we're gonna try a piece. It is like pork. That brown sugar maple glaze, or the brine that I did rather, and that fat just absolutely melts. It hits your tongue and it absolutely melts. So I think it's gonna do the same in the pan. So let's go in with our first piece. And it is delicate, so that's why I don't have it on very high heat. All right, and because these are really delicate, I'm gonna be really delicate when I go to flip them. And I just want them browned on each side. Yes, that's what I was looking for. That's what I was hoping for. That looks like thick cut bacon. And thanks to Meeson for this carbon steel pan, it is not sticking at all. This is gonna be perfect. And now for our actual sandwich, I just have some toasted wheat bread, lettuce, tomato, and a little bit of mayo. I'm not gonna mess with the BLT too much. It's already perfection. I'm already changing it up by using the tuna. So as I get this ready, once I have all this sliced and on the bread, that other side will be crisped up and ready to go onto our sandwich. I do mayo on both sides, not just one. Now our tuna bacon is ready to come off. It held together actually better than I thought it would. Look at that piece. I can actually hear how crispy that bacon is. Look at that. Going in. The fat on the tuna got a nice crunch to it because it got nice and crispy in our pan. Not fishy at all. Smoky. It's good. That's a winner in my book. So that's a nice play on an old traditional sandwich. Well, thanks for coming along, guys. If you liked this episode, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. And thank you to CJ for the tuna belly. It was really good, man.